Move your car. Lol. Okay. I'm the 19F daughter of my normally very nice parents. We had new neighbors move in about 2 years ago, and for the most part, we've just left them be. They're a little annoying sometimes, and there were a couple instances where we had to complain about the overwhelming noise of their weekend parties at night. But other than that, they're pretty okay neighbors. We've never had a problem with them until recently after several strikes against my family. Strike number 1. Destructive dogs. So our neighbor's family and my family owns dogs. My dogs are very gentle and spend most of their time indoors. We live in Southern California, and when this incident happened it was in the middle of summer. So we let our dogs stay inside to keep cool. Their dogs are very aggressive and are raised as outside dogs. Every time I let my dogs out in the backyard for some fresh air, my neighbor's dogs will attempt to break through the wooden fence dividing our properties via digging, climbing, scratching, etc. The digging was easy to stop. We just filled in the holes with dirt. But at some point their dog managed to create a hole in the wall large enough for their dog to squeeze their face in. So about the size of a dinner plate. We have cameras, so we caught everything on tape. My parents are pretty understanding. So my dad went and talked to my neighbors, offering to pay half of the damage since it's our shared property line. The neighbor's wife, who we are going to call Lying Sally for this story, called my dad a liar and accused our dogs of damaging the fence, which we knew wasn't true, and my dad told her we had proof it was her dogs and demanded that my family pay for the damages. They fought over it and nothing got solved. So eventually my dad conceded and nailed some plywood over the gaping hole. Problem solved. But this was only the first strike. Strike number 2. Just why? The next incident is honestly really stupid, and I don't even know why Lying Sally bothered lying. So this incident happened about a few days after we had to call our third noise complaint on one of their parties again. Like, seriously. Who blasts Let It Go at 10:30 p.m. at night? I wish I was making this up. My mom is getting out of her car in our driveway when Lying Sally walks right up to her and accuses her of yelling at their lawn mowing guy to not mow their lawn so loudly at 7:30 a.m. My mom was very confused. She's never talked to the guy who comes over to mow their lawn. We've never cared about any of our neighborhood's business in general. For frick's sake. We have a neighbor across the street who revs his motorcycle at 6 a.m. and another neighbor who does construction stuff in his garage for a hobby. My family has been living here for almost 20 years. We're very chill with our neighbors' loud and noisy hobbies normally. Long story short, my mom confronted the lawnmower guy one morning and asked him if she's ever talked to him before. And he told her no. Lying Sally saw this and ran out of the house to confront my mom. She screams, "Why are you talking to him for?" And so my mom replies, "Because you're a lying bitch." And so that's the gist of it. I don't know why Lying Sally even bothered lying about that. At this point, we were convinced Lying Sally was a nutcase. Strike number 3. The point where I finally stepped in. For the past month, my neighbors have stooped to a new low by hogging all of the parking space in front of our house whenever they get the opportunity. My family has 3 cars. 2 usually sit in our driveway and the third is parked curbside in front of our house. My neighbors have 2 cars, both of which they park alongside the curb in front of both of our houses. The curb our houses share is only big enough for 2 cars. They've stopped using their driveway entirely just to park their 2 cars on the curb, which forces us to park our third car further down the street. It's not a big deal, but what they were doing was petty. So my parents became petty too. The moment they would move their cars to go to work, my parents would move our third car back into its spot on our half of the curb. This went on for almost an entire year until at some point an unspoken truce was made and they stopped their petty scheme. Things returned back to normal. Until I accidentally fucked it up. In my defense, I was driving home with the third car late at night. It's dark. I accidentally back up way too far and park the car smack dab in the middle of the curb. So my car is literally in the middle between our houses. I'm tired from working all day, so I don't think much of it since our neighbor still has a whole entire driveway to themselves. Trust me, their driveway is just like ours. It is made to fit 2 cars. The next morning, I wake up to the sound of my parents arguing downstairs. Turns out, our neighbors have parked one of their cars on their driveway, and the other one is parked in front of our third car on our side of the curb. This wouldn't be a problem if one half of the hood of their car wasn't sticking out into our driveway. The problem with this is that if we tried to back out the car, the one closest to their car, in our driveway, we might hit their car, and I'm pretty sure that was the purpose. I was done with their games. So I marched over next door and rang their doorbell. The husband, we'll call him Pig for this story, opens the door and he's recording me as if I'm going to attack him. Which is ridiculous. I'm 5 feet 2 inches and he's close to 6 feet 0 inches. If anything, I should be the scared one. The conversation goes like this. Me. Is it okay if you can move your car? Quote. Pig. No. The police told me I can park anywhere I want because it's a public road, and they even told me I can record you. Me. I don't even care about you recording me. I just need you to move your car. You have an entire driveway to yourself. It's just common courtesy to not block your neighbor's car into their driveway. Pig. You guys can still get out. It's not that bad. Me. Yeah. But we just don't want to hit your car by accident while backing out. Pig. Is that a threat? Quote. Me. No. I'm just saying that we don't want to pay for the damage of your car because you didn't want to move it. And I can't guarantee that we won't hit it. It's pretty damn close. Pig. I don't care. I shouldn't have to move my car. You move your car. Quote. I realized I wasn't going to get anywhere. So I let him slam the door in my face and I walked away. I went back inside my house and got on my laptop to make sure that, yes, it is indeed illegal to park in front of someone's driveway, even partially. So my neighbor does have to move by law. However, I wanted to be a petty bitch. So I moved my car. I grabbed my car keys and carefully backed up the car. Again, the one closest to his poorly parked car, so that the back half is inches away from the front of Pig's car. So my car is now blocking Pig's car from pulling out into the street and leaving. My car is also blocking the sidewalk, which I know is illegal. But I already had this planned out. Basically, I caged in his car and held it hostage for a couple days. Here's the setup shown in this diagram. https imager.com/gallery/pv17x23. Either Pig or Lying Sally would have to come and apologize to make me move the car, which I knew was very unlikely. OR. Part number 4. Victory. Sure enough, as I predicted, Pig called the cops a few days later and reported my ass. His face was so smug as the officer told me that I can't legally box in someone's car like that and block the sidewalk with my vehicle. I told the officer that I understood and that I'll move my car. But I immediately pointed out that it's illegal to partially block the entrance point to someone's driveway as well, and that Pig's car is crossing that line by over 2 feet. The smile on Pig's face vanishes and his face turns red while the officer tells him that he's going to have to move his car as well. So I back up my car and I'm grinning like a cat who's caught its prey, while Pig has to move his car into his driveway. I also made sure to move our third car back into its rightful spot as well. Edit. Holy shit. Thanks for the silver, my dude. The story was fine, but I'm really living for that diagram. Perfection. Should have called a tow truck. As soon as he refused to move, he was breaking the law and you can have him towed at his expense. My neighbors park in front of my curb space all the time. Blocked my mailbox and my drive multiple times. The only time I've ever been able to do something about it is when they blocked the driveway. I've thought about parking on the curb, but I know once I do it, one of them will rear-end my car. I had a neighbor like this once, always playing stupid petty parking games. I reported them to the IRS for undeclared income. Made a living selling products out of their home. IRC. The main hole is on year 4 of their 7-year sentence. It's worth it to buy a smart car just to block him in and not block the sidewalk. Time to let the Jehovah's Witnesses know you are super interested in hearing all about their message. And that your address is your neighbor's house. So strange to me that a neighbor would behave in this way. They have to live there, with the consequences of being a dick. I have a dickish neighbor on one side. My first ever. My passive, aggressive response was to install a pet septic on their fence line. Give me shit. You can smell shit. All the time. This is the most suburban thing I have ever read. Couldn't you have parked it normally, parallel to the sidewalk and blocking only your driveway, and still blocked him in? Nice diagram. I was with you until you claimed to cage him in with your car. I need a diagram or something to understand this part. I guess that would make it a pig pen. You should just firebomb their house before they get yours. Update for the picture. That is a very helpful diagram, thank you. Sounds like they are bitter over you calling the cops about noise complaints and y'all going to be in this neighborly war until one of you moves out. P. Back when my dad was more hard-headed and car bumpers were stronger. As in, made of metal. Not better at keeping people alive. He once told me about an issue he had where someone kept parking on the street and blocking the driveway to his apartment building. At the time he had a truck. And one day he finally got fed up because the guy wouldn't listen to him. So he nudged the truck up against the car's bumper, put it into a low gear, and slowly pushed it into a spot not blocking the driveway. The guy was confused at first when he came out, but never parked there again. He's lucky he didn't pull this crap with any of my friends. They would have used their pickup trucks to push his car sideways into the road. Then called the cops about an abandoned vehicle blocking traffic. Don't get mad. Get even. Far too often I read a story on Reddit and the layout of the scene is not clear. Even without the diagram, your description is very good. But the provision of a diagram showcasing the positions of various cars elevates this post and story. Stupid all around.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.